63 games, 24 wins. That's a win rate of just 38%. On the surface, these numbers tell you one thing: epic failure. The project that was supposed to save Manchester United crashed and burned in just 14 months, and the team was left in the bottom half of the league. The history books will show you embarrassing losses and a terrible season. But what if I told you the real story is way more insane than just bad results? I mean, this is the same manager who got them to a Europa League final. The real story is so much crazier. It's the story of a manager who refused to change anything, and the explosive behind-the-scenes fight that got him fired. To understand why it all went so wrong, you can't just look at the scoreboard. You have to look at the crazy ideology that caused the entire club to collapse. Ruben Amorim came to Manchester United with a huge reputation, all built on one single tactic, a 3-4-3 formation. This was his system, and he believed in it more than anything. This guy literally said the Pope couldn't make him change his mind. The Pope and Manchester United's bosses thought this was the guy who could finally bring order to a decade of chaos. They didn't just hire a manager, they hired his system. And here's the crazy part: that system completely destroyed United's best players. All their creative superstar attackers were suddenly forced to play defense. Their only job went from scoring goals to stopping them. The team became boring, predictable, and the results were a disaster. Sources say Amorim got more and more angry, not at his tactics, but at his players for not being good enough. He would get furious in training whenever his players lost a one-on-one battle, thinking his squad just wasn't strong enough to do what he wanted. But here's the secret no one is talking about. The board didn't hire him for his 3-4-3 tactic. The plan was for him to build a foundation and then change things up. They wanted a starting point, not a prison. The problem wasn't the system itself, it was that he refused to adapt. He never changed, he delivered the stability he promised, but the evolution never came. His biggest strength became the one thing that got him fired. You think the games on the field were bad? What was happening behind the scenes was 100 times worse. This was the story of the manager versus the club. It all exploded in one single meeting between Amorim and the director of football, Jason Wilcox. When the director tried to talk about the team's rigid tactics, Amorim completely lost it. His response was described as negative and emotional. He thought it was a personal attack. That one meeting destroyed the relationship between the two most important people at the club. And this fight was always going to happen. The new owner, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, had told the world that from now on, the club would decide how the team plays. So what did they do? They hired the one manager in the world who refuses to be controlled. It's insane. Amorim believed tactics were his job and his job only. The club saw it as just one part of their massive project. It was a power struggle. He was never ever going to win. Amorim felt like everyone was plotting against him. He was convinced that the board was only pressuring him to change because former players like Gary Neville and Paul Scholes were criticizing him on TV. He didn't just see them as pundits. He thought they were a secret government trying to get him fired. And this is where he just starts attacking everyone. After one terrible loss, he went on TV and basically declared war on his own club. He said, if people cannot handle the Gary Nevilles and the criticisms of everything, we need to change the club. Can you believe that? A manager at war with his own club's biggest legends. Privately, he told staff he thought Manchester United was broken and the players were too fragile to ever be good. This chaos even spread to the players they were trying to buy. In the January transfer window, Amorim was desperate for a powerful striker who had already proven himself in the Premier League. He wanted 30-year-old Oli Watkins. The club, however, wanted to spend a whopping 85 million euros on a super young 22-year-old player named Benjamin Sesko for the future. The club went and bought Sesko, leaving Amorim with none of the players he wanted. So the club buys an 85 million euro player he didn't even ask for. He felt completely betrayed and ignored, and he was convinced the club cared more about money than winning. While this was all happening, the club later said this argument wasn't the reason they sacked him. Amorim was hired because he was a great communicator, but now he was causing incredible damage every time he spoke. After one loss, he told the media it was maybe the worst performance in the club's entire 147-year history, and the players absolutely hated that. He started publicly trashing his players, even the brand new 85 million euro striker Sesko and other young players. The great communicator was now dividing everyone. This kind of crazy drama, ego, and total dysfunction is a complete nightmare at Manchester United. If you want to see more insane stories from the world's biggest clubs, smash that subscribe button right now. But I have to know what you think. Was Ruben Amorim the reason for his own failure, or was he a victim of a club that's impossible to manage? Let me know in the comments down below. Ruben Amorim's firing wasn't because of one mistake. It was a complete and total meltdown. It was the perfect storm. A manager who refused to change, meeting a club that demands control but has no clear plan. When the club announced he was fired, they said he didn't show enough signs of evolution or progress. But that was just the corporate excuse. The truth is, his public attacks and the terrible results were all symptoms of the same problem, a massive, unwinnable war of ideas. Amorim's story is just the latest victim of the Manchester United chaos. It proves once again that being the manager at Old Trafford is an almost impossible job. You have to win today, but also build a team for 10 years from now. You have to bring back amazing attacking soccer, but also fix a defense that leaks goals. You have to be a super strong leader, but also do whatever a committee tells you to do. Ruben Amorim was hired to be the ultimate solution, but he ended up as just another casualty of the chaos. And his failure leaves us with the biggest question of all. If a manager this clear and this successful can fail this badly, who on earth can succeed at Manchester United?